Dear students, welcome to all of you. Today we are here to discuss types of seed germination. Seed represents a miniature plant with an adequate supply of reserve food material for the nourishment at the time of germination. Seed is a means of perenniation. During this phase, all the life activities are temporarily suspended to tide over the unfavorable and injurious climatic conditions. With the arrival of favorable conditions, the seed resumes active life, germinates, and grows into a new plant. There are three types of seed germination based on the behavior of cotyledons. These are epigeal, hypogeal, and viviparous. First, the epigeal germination. In this type of germination, the cotyledons come above the surface of the soil into the air and light due to the rapid growth and elongation of the hypocotyl. The cotyledons turn green and make food for a while. The food is then utilized by the growing stem. They finally dry up and fall off, and seedling becomes an independent plant. Germination of seeds of beans, gourd, castor, cotton, etc. is of epigeal nature. Now we will discuss the examples of epigeal germination. First, the germination in castor. The castor seeds are placed in moist sawdust to steady its germination. The seeds absorb water through the spongy caruncle. From the caruncle, the water enters the interior of the seed through the micropyle and the hilum. From the caruncle, water is imbibed by the tegmen and then by the endosperm. Water enters the endosperm gradually through the cell layers. The cotyledons imbibe water quickly and then conduct it to the endosperm. The endosperm is thus hydrated from two sides. The cotyledons and other embryo parts enlarge as a result of hydration and resumption of metabolic activities and growth. The enlarging embryo puts pressure on the outer seed coat or the testa, which has also been softened by water. As a consequence of the pressure put by the enlarging embryo, the seed coat breaks or splits open. The caruncle also gets detached from the seed coat. The water in the endosperm initiates the production of digestive enzymes that act on insoluble food and convert it into soluble form. Recent studies indicate that certain regulating hormones also percolate into the endosperm from the embryo axis. These are responsible for dissolving most of the insoluble food. This food is absorbed by the embryo through the cotyledons. The radicle grows rapidly and passes through the endosperm and seed coats and comes out through the micropylar region and enters the soil. Its tip is protected by the root cap. It grows down rapidly in the soil and undergoes branching. The radicle now forms the primary root system, which establishes the future seedling in the soil. The primary roots can absorb water and nutrients directly from the soil or the medium in which seed is germinating. It is the first step towards making the seedling self-sufficient. The next visible change is the rapid growth of hypocotyl. This is the region below the point of attachment of the cotyledons. It grows out of the seed coat in the form of a loop and comes above the soil in the same bent or curved form. On exposure to light, it becomes green and straightens slowly. During this straightening, it gradually pushes the cotyledons and the surrounding layer of endosperm along with it. The epicotyle and the pilumule are protected by the cotyledons and come above ground due to straightening of the hypocotyle. The seed coat and the endosperm wither and fall off. The cotyledons are now exposed to the light. They turn green and act as first green leaves of the seedling. By now, the hypocotyle has become straight. The cotyledons manufacture food, roots absorb water and nutrients from the soil and conduct them to the aerial parts. Thus, the seedling becomes autotrophic and independent. The pilumule now grows and gives out the first green leaves. These leaves grow and expand and start photosynthesis. Further growth leads to the appearance of more leaves. The cotyledons now shrivel up and fall off. The independent seedling later grows into a full-fledged plant. During germination of castor seed, the cotyledons come above the ground and act as first leaves. Such germination is called epigeal. Now the second example of epigeal germination is germination in bean. It is an example of epigeal germination in which the cotyledons perform a twin function of food storage and photosynthesis. The seed is non-endospermic and the food is stored only in the cotyledons. During initial stages of germination, the food in the cotyledons nourishes the young embryo, which grows at its expense. Later, due to elongation of the hypocotylus, the shriveled cotyledons are carried above the soil along with the epicotylus, pilumule and rudimentary leaves. The cotyledons turn green and start manufacturing food. Later, the epicotyle grows actively, carrying the pilumule much above the cotyledons. Green leaves appear and take on the function of photosynthesis. The cotyledons fall away or abscise. In this seed, the water enters through the micropyle and hilum because the seed coats are impervious to water. The radicle, which lies close to the micropyle, quickly absorbs water and conveys it to embryo axis and cotyledons. This hydration, as usual in other seeds, speeds up metabolism and respiration. The growing embryo expands and breaks the testa. The radicle comes out first and grows into the primary root system. The root hairs near root tips start active absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Meanwhile, the hypocotyle starts growing and comes out of the soil in the form of a loop or a curve. Later, it slowly straightens and brings the cotyledons and pilumule above the soil surface. Remains of testa may also be seen around the cotyledons. They fall down. The cotyledons open and expand, turn green, and expose the epicotylus and pilumule to sunlight. Now the hypogeal germination. In this type of germination, the cotyledons remain in the soil or just above the surface. In this case, epicotyle elongates, pushing the pilumule upwards. The cotyledons do not turn green and gradually dry up and fall off. Germination of seeds of pea, mango, groundnut, etc. is of hypogeal nature. Now the examples of hypogeal germination. First, germination in pea seed. The seed absorbs moisture from the soil through micropyle and hilum. As a result, the seed coat softens. The radicle, which is near the micropyle and absorbs water rapidly and conducts it to the other parts of the embryo axis. The cotyledons absorb water slowly and ultimately gets completely hydrated. The embryo swells and expands and may break the testa. The hydration of the embryo and cotyledons activates the various enzymes which promote solubility of food and other metabolic activities in the cotyledons and parts of embryo axis. In the embryo, the cells begin to elongate and divide. Metabolic activities are rapid in the radicle and pilumule tips. They are all directed towards the synthesis of new cell components and structures. The radicle grows actively and emerges out of the seed coat. Its tip is protected by the root cap. The radicle grows into the soil and gives rise to the primary root system. Its early development is essential for the establishment of the seedling. Absorption of water and other nutrients takes place through root hair that develop on the root and its branches. The hypocotyle does not grow in length in this seed. Instead, the epicotyle grows rapidly and comes out of the cotyledons in the form of a loop or a curve. The pilumule is slowly pushed out of the cotyledons by the growing epicotyle. Further growth carries the pilumule and the rudimentary leaves around it above the soil. The epicotyle straightens, carrying the pilumule at its tip. Later, the pilumule grows gradually into the future shoot. The first green leaves make their appearance, become green, and starts photosynthesis. The young seedling now becomes autotrophic. The cotyledons remain below the surface of the ground. They are hypogeal. The young seedling remains attached to the cotyledons by means of cotyledonary stalks. Later, the cotyledons shrivel up and are consumed. During germination of pea seed, the cotyledons remain below the surface of ground. Such germination is called hypogeal. Second example of hypogeal germination is germination of gram seed. The conical seed absorbs water through the micropyle and general surface of the testa. The seed coats soften. The radicle, which is near the micropyle, absorbs water readily and transports it to the other parts of the embryo axis. The cotyledons, which are thick due to food storage, absorb water slowly from the seed coats and also through cotyledonary stalks from the embryo axis. The embryo axis absorbs water more readily and rapidly than any other part of the seed. The metabolic activities start in the embryo axis. It starts expanding and growing by cell division and cell enlargement. The digestive and respiratory enzymes become active and the food in the cotyledons become soluble. It is readily absorbed by the growing embryo. Respiration provides energy for all growth processes. The radicle emerges first and comes out through the micropyle, grows down into the soil, branches, and gives rise to the primary root system. The epicotyle grows later and comes out of the seed in the form of a curve or a loop. Like pea, it later pushes out the pilumule and rudimentary leaves, that is, cataphyllus, out of the soil. On exposure to light, it straightens and turns green. The pilumule grows and gives out first green leaves that start manufacturing food. The seedling is now self-sufficient. In this case, The hypocotyledons do not grow so that the cotyledons remain below ground. The germination is therefore hypogeal. Sometimes the hypocotyledons may grow slightly during later stages of germination and carry the cotyledons above ground. By the time the seedling had produced first green leaves. Now the viviparous germination. The phenomena of germination of seeds in situ, that is while still attached to the fruit, is called vivipary. It is commonly seen in mangrove plants, particularly those of the family, for example, Rhizophora, Cereopus, Candelia. Besides, it is also found in plants like Soneraceae, Avicennia, etc. The seed germinates in situ. A bulb-like radicle in Rhizophora emerges out of the fruit and grows a little faster. The hypocotyle then grows. The fruit or the axis then gets detached from the mother plant and falls due to its weight. The root may be buried in the shallow water or the fruit may float. The plumule emerges out and the plant then establishes itself. In some plants like squash, tomato, melon, orange, etc., the vivipary is accidental. Under high moisture conditions, their seeds germinate inside the fruit, which is still attached to the mother plant. But this kind of vivipary is different from those found in Rhizophora, etc. Dear students, this was all about the types of germination in flowering plants. Hope you have understood the topic very well. Thank you very much. God bless you.